Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into something really unique, the Papal Conclave.
That's right, the process for electing a new pope.
Yeah, and we've got this detailed report we're working from. It covers the history, the procedures, the whole 9 yards.
And why it matters, not just for Catholics.
Exactly. Our mission, really, is to pull out the most fascinating bits, the crucial stuff about this event for you.
So, at its heart, the conclave is, it's the meeting of the College of Cardinals. They get together to elect the Bishop of Rome, the Pope, when the seat becomes vacant.
And given the Pope leads, 1.4 billion Catholics, plus heads Vatican City?
It's huge. This isn't just some internal church thing. It's watched globally, has real geopolitical weight.
And the name itself, conclave, tells a story, doesn't it?
It does. Latin, cum clave.
Yeah, key.
Yeah. Straight away, it signals that strict seclusion,
Hmm.
locking the electors in until they've made a choice.
Right. And because the Pope is such a major religious leader, a moral voice worldwide, and head of state,
the whole world pays attention. Plus, let's be honest, there's a mystery to it. The secrecy, the old traditions, the smoke signals even.
Yeah, those smoke signals are iconic. It's this strange mix, isn't it? Like deeply spiritual.
Trying to discern God's will, absolutely.
But also it's a very structured election process designed to actually get a result and keep outside meddling, out.
And that seclusion part, it wasn't always like that, not formally.
Yeah.
There's a specific reason it became so strict.
Oh, yeah.
We have to go back to Viterbo, late 13th century. They had an election that just stalled for nearly 3 years.
3 years. Wow. Imagine that.
Exactly. Total deadlock. So Pope Gregory X, finally elected, he basically said never again and issued this decree, Ubi Curriculum.
And that's what formalized the locking in.
Pretty much. To speed things up and crucially to shield the election from all the political pushing and pulling from outside rulers. That's always been a tension.
Okay, so let's talk about the electors themselves. The College of Cardinals. How does one even get to be a cardinal?
Well, there's a kind of ladder, you could say. Usually it goes deacon, then priest, bishop, maybe archbishop.
And then cardinal. Senior clergy, right. Advisors to the Pope.
Exactly. And their most critical job, electing the next pope. During the sede vacante, that's the time between popes.
The vacant seat.
Right. Their governing power is quite limited then. It's mostly about getting ready for the conclave.
And becoming a cardinal, is that an elected thing or appointed?
No, it's entirely up to the Pope. His choice, his alone.
Huh. Any requirements?
Well, current rules say you have to be at least ordained a priest. Interestingly, way back, even laymen could be cardinals. Now, it's almost always bishops, though the Pope can make exceptions. It all gets formalized in ceremonies called consistory.
Okay, I often hear this number, 120 electors. Is that like a hard cap?
It's more of a guideline, really.
Yeah.
Pope Paul VI set that limit for cardinals under the age of 80.
Ah, the age limit.
Yeah. But popes have often appointed more, so the actual number can go over 120. If we were looking at, say, a hypothetical 2025 conclave, it might be around 135 eligible electors initially.
So the key is being under 80 before the Pope dies or resigns.
Precisely. If you turn 80 after the see becomes vacant, you're out for the vote. Cardinals over 80, though, they can still participate in the meetings before the conclave starts, the general congregations. They just don't go into the Sistine Chapel to vote.
And once they are in the chapel, secrecy is paramount, I gather.
Oh, absolutely fundamental.
Yeah.
Before anything else, every single cardinal takes a solemn oath, swearing total secrecy about everything that happens concerning the election.
I'm breaking that oath.
Big consequences. We're talking automatic excommunication, latae sententia. It's taken very, very seriously.
It really strikes me how much influence a pope has, then, just by deciding who gets to be a cardinal in the first place. He's essentially shaping the group that chooses his successor.
That's a really important point. It's one of the most significant ways a pope shapes the church's future path. Look at Pope Francis. He's appointed, more than 3/4 of the cardinals likely eligible for a near future conclave. And he's deliberately looked towards geographical diversity, the peripheries, as he calls them.
So bringing in voices from different parts of the world.
Exactly. Plus, that under 80 age limit subtly gives more weight to the cardinals appointed more recently. And think historically, we used to have lay cardinals, crown cardinals, representing monarchs.
Right, political appointments almost.
Yeah. The shift towards nearly all cardinals being bishops shows a kind of centralization, maybe, and definitely a move to reduce direct secular government influence inside the election itself.
So shifting gears slightly, When a pope is elected, the impact is felt way beyond the church walls.
Oh, no question. The papacy has this enduring global footprint. It's not just about spiritual leadership for Catholics.
Right.
There's immense moral authority, significant geopolitical influence. People talk about Vatican soft power.
Soft power. How does that work?
Well, through its extensive diplomatic network, the Holy See has relations with most countries through the Pope's public statements. His ability to frame debates on huge global issues.
Like peace, human rights.
Environment, migration. Pope Francis has been very vocal there. These pronouncements resonate widely.
And how does that translate into action? Is it just words?
Not just words. It's channeled through, yes, diplomacy and statements, but also this vast global network of Catholic institutions. Think charities, schools, universities, hospitals. They're on the ground everywhere.
It's kind of amazing that the personal focus of one individual, chosen this way, can ripple out so far.
It really is. While the core beliefs, the doctrines, they stay the same, the emphasis a pope brings, his tone, his pastoral priorities, that can really change how the church engages with the world.
Pope Francis focusing on poverty or the environment is a clear example of that, I suppose.
A perfect example. It shifts the conversation, both inside and outside the church.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on the conclave, what's the big takeaway, the thing to really hold on to?
I think what's truly fascinating, for me anyway, is how the conclave captures this constant interplay, this tension between incredibly ancient traditions and the need to adapt.
Right, old rituals meeting new rules based on past problems.
Exactly. You have these centuries-old practices alongside changes driven by very real historical lessons like Viterbo. And underpinning it all is this belief in divine guidance working through, well, a very human, structured process. Each election, therefore, it holds this potential for quite significant shifts in leadership, in focus, and how the church interacts with the wider world. And that impacts millions, shaping global conversations.
Definitely a lot to think about there. Thanks for walking us through that. And for you listening, what part of this whole ancient yet living process sticks with you the most? Something to ponder until our next deep dive. Thanks for diving deep with Deepcast AI today. If you enjoyed this, give us a like and definitely subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're first in line for our next exploration.